Hi, it's Joseph once again, and today I'm going to share with you an artist that is somewhat under the radar, and that is Boz Scaggs. Many of you are familiar, of course, with his hit Low Down, and he went on to produce quite a few hits in the late 70s and early 80s. But I'm going to share with you early Boz Scaggs. So let's get started. Boz was actually a part of the Steve Miller Band. Him and Steve were friends from way back when they were growing up in Texas, and eventually when Steve Miller came to the Bay Area, he recruited Boz to be part of his band. And this is a great band, a great album, Children of the Future. It's a psychedelic, really masterpiece. And Boz makes a couple of great contributions to it. My favorite, and it's perhaps one of my most liked Boz Scaggs songs, even though it's part of a Steve Miller album. It's called Baby, I'm Calling You Home. And it's a really wonderful jazz-influenced slow song. It's got a great harpsichord solo by Ben Sidran. But for me, it's the highlight of the album. And it's Baby, I'm Calling You Home. And he goes on to perform it in his live performances sometimes. But the only way to hear it on a record is from the Steve Miller Band. Next up is his album, Boz Scaggs. Many people know this as his first album. Actually, he recorded another album that was not released in great numbers. So technically, this is some ways his first album, the one that most people know, and it's on Atlantic Records. It was done in Muscle Shoals with Duane Allman on board. Perhaps the highlight of the album, and for many people, the highlight of Boz's recording career is a slow bluesy number that Boz wrote called Loan Me a Dime. And Duane Allman rips into an amazing solo, and the horns are backing him up, pumping. It's just a really driving song at the end with Duane Allman really blazing on guitar. But that's not the only highlight. He's got a slow song called I'll Be Long Gone. It's one of my also favorite songs by Boz. Boz Scaggs really excels in slow numbers. He's got a very soulful style. Sometimes he sings in a falsetto, and for a blue-eyed soul artist, he can sing falsetto with the best of them. He also gets into some country elements. There's a Jimmy Rogers song, Waiting for a Train. And like I say, Boz Scaggs, this is his first album, his album on Atlantic. You can't go wrong with it. Very, very diverse. And when you check this one out, you can see how diverse Boz Scaggs was at this time. Next week, he goes to Columbia Records, and this is called Moments. And this is produced by Glenn Johns. Excellent production by him. And here Boz has his own band. It's, like I say, he had his own band. At this time, he was performing at the Fillmore West quite a bit and throughout California and different places. But he opens up with a song called We Were Always Sweethearts. I believe I had that song on a 45 at one time, way back in the 70s in 71. And it reminds me a lot of Archie Bell and the Drowls' Tighten Up. It's got that same soul groove with the horns punctuating on it. Great soulful vocal by Boz once again. And the highlight for me on this album is Downright Woman. It's almost like a slow bossa nova number with, once again, a great falsetto vocal by Boz and an amazing piano and flute solo. The piano solo, I'm not sure who it's by, if it's Ben Sidran, which I get the suspicion it is because he's a great jazz artist. And also, there's a great flute solo by Mal Martin, who was part of the San Francisco scene and just an amazing woodwind player. His second album on Columbia is Boz Scaggs and Band, and this was, I believe, the first album by Boz that I bought, and it opens up with a great tune, Monkey Time, and then it goes into a great blues workout called Runnin' Blue with some big band type horns. Almost kind of reminds me of if Ray Charles or Bobby Bland or T-Bone Walker were singing it. It's amazing how Boz can shift styles from of course, rock to blues, and then there's some country elements on here. What I also like about this element is Santana's percussionist, who was Chipito Arias on timbales and Mike Carabello on congas. They add some Latin rock flavor to this album, and one of the best Latin tinged ones is Here to Stay. Just once again, a very beautiful mellow groove by Boz. And then it goes into a nice medium type rocker, Nothing Will Take Your Place, where they get into a great organ solo. and the horns pumping in the background. It just shows to show you how good a band, how great this band was by Boz Scaggs and band. And it's a shame more people didn't hear him at the time. And the last album I'm going to talk about is called My Time. And this album hints at what's going to be coming in the future because it's perhaps his most slick album to date. This album, he splits the recording between Muscle Shoals and in San Francisco, where in San Francisco he's using his own band, and of course in Muscle Shoals he's using the musicians there. But it's got a great up-tempo opener, Dinah Flow, and there's quite a few slow soulful ballads, Slowly in the West, which I believe is an original, and it's got a rocker, a Fool Locker, Power Slide, and then he does an Al Green cover called Old Time Lovin'. He does a Lee Dorsey cover, Freedom for the Stallion, and then he ends the album with the title song, My Time, which is another mellow type ballad, which Boz just can sing so well. So once again, I would just like to stress that Boz Scaggs is a very diverse artist in these early albums. Once again, he sings rock, he sings blues, he sings country, and he does it all. And he does it with great precision, great artistry, great flair. And I can't recommend these early Boz Scaggs albums enough. So check them out. Also, like and subscribe. And this is Joseph out.